welcome to another episode of the Self-Help Us podcast. I'm your co-host, Priya.
And I'm Sofia, and it's been so long. Not for you guys, but for us.
Yeah, for us it's been at least, 2 weeks or something like that since we've recorded an awesome episode for you guys, and we're happy to be back.
Yeah, we've been busy for you. We haven't just been slacking and sipping margaritas by the beach.
No, what I've been doing is reading books by the pool, so... that is work, but in a nice environment. Specifically reading this book in a public environment, which was extremely embarrassing.
Yeah.
But you might be wondering, Priya, why is this book embarrassing? Well, Sofia, tell us what the book is.
So the book is called How to Get a Rich Man by Donna Spangler. It is super embarrassing to read in public. It's like bright pink.
Like viciously pink. Yeah.
I found this book while I was trying to look for Why Men Love Bitches, which we discussed in episode 3 in the San Francisco Public Library. And I immediately took a picture of it and sent it to Priya. And I was like, we have to read this for the pod.
And I was like, fuck yeah, we do have to read this for the podcast. Our listeners would fucking love it. So... whether you're a man or a woman, this is your quick guide on how to get a rich man.
And this is going to be like an extra large episode because what we did was not only read this book, but we went speed dating to try to like enact the principles in this book.
Yeah, we committed.
We committed
we
for
went
you.
All the way for you guys.
And that in itself is like, could take like an hour of us talking about it. So we're going to split this episode into 2 and we're going to talk about the book first, like with little interminglings of the speed dating. But you guys are going to have an extra large treat for this weekend next. So
yeah, so this episode is coming out today on Tuesday, and then part 2, which is more about the speed dating, will come out for you guys on Thursday. So that is something that you already can look forward to. You're welcome.
So, like, just general first impressions.
Okay, so Sophia and I actually just like chatted about this before we started the recording session today. But in the book, Donna mentions Donald Trump like 4 or 5 times.
Like the archetypal rich man, and you can be his trophy wife.
Yeah.
Like that was the example of him in the book.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, Donna, no.
Oh, no.
Donna.
That did not age well, Donna.
Yeah, that example is so 2007. Which I think is the year which the book was published.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And there's only 1 copy of this in the SF Public Library, and I think there should be 0 copies of it, to be real honest. But there's only 1, so I had to read it real quick. I read it in like 2 or 3 hours, and then I just passed it on to her, and I was like, don't give me any late fines, bitch. You returned that shit on time.
Which I did. Or did I? Just kidding, I totally did.
Okay.
You got like, Sophia got a look of like panic, fear across her face, and then she was like, this bitch.
And I was like bugging her, like, you have to read this before the speed dating thing, or else like there's no point.
Yeah.
So one of the things she really espouses, much like Sherry Argov in Why Men Love Bitches, is like the very traditional notions of femininity.
Yeah.
And like looking feminine and not being too aggressive or competitive with your man, and putting on makeup and like, you know, having nice hair and putting on heels.
Yeah, it's very much like gender sphere oriented.
Yeah.
It's, if you're not like a girly girl, if you're not like willing to do the things that she says, apparently you can't get a rich man. But at the end of the day, it's kind of just like she's telling you, like, if that's not already you, and for me, like, I enjoy doing those things. Like, I enjoy putting makeup on and like dressing up and doing my hair and stuff like that. But if that's not you, then she's basically telling you to force yourself to like be something that you're not on a daily basis in order to like get perks from the guy you're dating.
Yeah, not just dating, but also like when you get married, you still have to keep that up. And I have to say, like, I'm a very feminine woman.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wear that dress.
I mean, yeah, for God's sake, I'm wearing a dress and leggings and hair out and, you know.
By the way, Sophia has the most gloriously beautiful hair. Like, every time I see her, it's just, like, naturally, like, shiny and, like, beautiful and, like, windswept. It's amazing.
You know what the secret is?
No, what's the secret?
Bathing.
Bathing helps. Bathing does help. That is a quick hot tip. Get in that tub, you dirty hoe. So basically, moral of the story, if you want to trap a rich guy, wash your damn hair.
So, as I was saying, I am a very feminine woman, but like the specific notion of femininity that she has, I tried to fit myself into it for this speed dating event. I went to Sephora. I got one of those 15-minute mini makeovers that you get. And like I just felt nervous more than I would have if I was just like going as myself.
Right.
Because I didn't feel like myself.
And I think that is one of the main issues in this book, is because like it doesn't tell you to like play up your natural femininity or whatever. It's like basically it corrals you into this really like niche-y notion of what it means to be a woman, and it's basically about changing yourself for the guy. And, like, so he's happy, and so he will want to do all of these things for you. Which is, I mean, I don't think it's sustainable, really. Yeah. Yeah,
and I was sort of insecure because, like, what if I get along with someone and they get to know me and they fall in love with me and he's super rich and I live happily ever after? Like, I'll just, like, have to keep doing the makeup stuff. And that's not something I'm really interested into fitting into my life. Mm-hmm. Like my look alone, like they what they do in Sephora is like they send you all the products they put on your face, so hopefully you'll buy them. It was like $150 like just for my face, like, and imagine like spending that much every month or whatever. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I just didn't feel good not being myself, but I was willing to try it for this for this event, but it's not really something I'm ever gonna do again. And I just want to emphasize that I don't own makeup at all. Like, I don't even know how to put it on. So when they put it on me, I was very aware that, like, I can't mess it up because I can't put it back on. And I was even afraid to eat. Yeah.
Which is, like, not okay. But I think that what Donna's basically saying is that if you want a rich guy who will treat you to X, Y, and Z, there's going to be a trade-off. You're going to have to give him your best, most feminine self. You're going to have to make him feel like you deserve all the best things in life because you look like you deserve all the best things in life. And
exactly.
Like, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know if I like, totally agree with it, but like to some extent I understand what she's saying. Where it's like that old adage where you like dress for the job you want. It's basically you're putting on a shell, you're putting on different things in order to get what you want or the level of something that you want. So in that way, it kind of made sense to me, but I don't think that it's, like, sustainable.
And she spends a surprising amount of time on, like, telling you to be confident in yourself and don't let anyone ever mistreat you just for the sake of money. And treat yourself like a princess and have high standards for how men treat you. Mm-hmm. And she spends a surprising amount of the book on that. I thought it would just be, like, a straight-up gold-digging Bible.
Yeah, but that's one thing that surprised me about this book in a good way is, like...
Yeah, me too.
It was just... She was so, like, pro-woman and pro, like, how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, and loving yourself.
Yeah, and, like, even though she does recommend, like, you know, get a fake tan, eyelash extensions, make sure you're groomed.
Yeah,
and,
it's like an investment for your future.
Yeah, I don't know. This book caught me by surprise, and I think, actually, I have a little bit of a soft spot for it. Also, one thing to note is that she spends multiple, like, paragraphs spread out through the book talking about the signs of bad rich guys.
Yeah, bad rich guys, like emotionally and physically abusive rich guys.
Yeah, which I think that is, like, actually incredible for her to have, like, put into her book, because she totally could have, like you said, like, have it been like a gold digger's Bible and being like, do whatever you need to do to get the man, like, blah, 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 wealth is the number one thing. But then she's like, no, it's not. If he's bad to you, get the fuck out.
If he's controlling and he's manipulative, if you always feel terrible when you're around him,
it's not worth it.
Yeah, if he only treats you well when you're about to leave, yeah, like, all red flags.
Yeah, and it's basically just, I don't know, I just really, really liked that. Like, honestly, fucking Sherry Argov.
Yeah, like, strangely, she's more, Donna is, like, more on our side than Sherry Argov would be.
Yeah, Sherry Argov was just like, get the man, get the man, get the man. That's your number one priority.
Yeah,
fuck
and if
you
like,
yourself,
yeah.
how you feel about yourself, all that stuff, get the man.
And if he acts manipulative, that's just how men are, and you have to play up your foxy feminine wiles to, like, get him to do what you want.
Yeah,
whereas Donna's like, no,
bullshit.
fuck that.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly, if I could meet Donna Spangler, I would fucking love to.
And she makes a good point, a very interesting argument about how, like, looking for money in your man is no more shallow than looking for a good-looking man. Because, like, if you're looking for a rich man, at least that's an investment in both of your futures. Whereas if you're looking for someone tall, dark, and handsome, that's just literally the surface.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I feel like looking for a man who is wealthy, looking for a man who's ambitious, speaks to also your level of, like, ambition and, like, the lifestyle that you want to build together. Because, like, if, for example, I was, like, a lady, high-powered CEO who was, like, a total badass and stuff like that, like, I'm also going to look for someone who is on my level or higher, because that is the lifestyle that I'm working hard for.
Yeah, or if you're not, and that's just the lifestyle that you want, like, you have higher aspirations for your life in general and not just your career.
Yeah, and you're willing to, like, put in the work and, like, do the building and all that kind of stuff to create the life that you want. And honestly, like, I don't think it's a bad thing to look for financial security in a partner. I feel like that's, like, very basic, even biological thing to look for. Do you agree? Do you think I'm crazy?
No, I do agree. Like, the life that you lead together depends a lot on money.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if she only, like we said, if she only focused on getting that money no matter what cost, I would have a little less respect for her. But because she focused...
I would have a ton less respect for her.
But she focused on, like, putting herself first. I think that was really impressive. And, again, like, that interesting argument about, like, looking for looks versus money.
Yeah. And at the end of every chapter, I believe it's at the end of every chapter, almost every chapter, she basically has a list of the princess principles where she, like, sums up the things that she said in the chapter and, like, easy to digest and, like, look back at little tidbits. And a lot of them are, like, really great. Yeah, it's just, like, some of them are... You know, watch out for these things. Don't listen to a guy if he says this. Get out when you can. And other things are like, love yourself as you are. Play up your, like, natural things that you love about yourself. Don't forget to, like, take care of yourself and, like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's just like when she starts to get into, like, you have to put on makeup on your face and you have to do your hair, like, get a blowout, like that. It kind of loses me there.
Is that where it loses you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it because you don't identify with those things and that's the only reason? Or is it because you think that, like, it's shallow or something like that?
I don't identify with those things, but I also think that taking care of myself doesn't necessarily mean putting on makeup. Like, I could look well, I could present myself well, I could look well-groomed, I could look like I'm taking care of myself without doing any of those things.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that completely. And also, you know what I think nowadays, especially, the trend of, like, no makeup, where you just look naturally, like, glowy and beautiful. Honestly, a lot of girls nowadays, like, the skincare routine is so much better than it was, like, 10 years ago. Everyone's got that, like, natural glow, and they're, like, taking care of their skin, and they're looking bomb. And so, I don't know, I just don't feel like there's a need to go all out, but, like, for me, that I didn't, like, the book did not lose me at all there. I was just like, yeah, okay, that makes sense to me because I do those things anyway. So for me, it was more of, like, a just pay more attention to it kind of thing rather than, like, change the things about yourself and, like, your routine and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was a little alienating for me because it's not something I really related to.
No, 100%. And I think that that's a great point, is that you can love this book and still not agree with everything. Honestly, I think I would be super interested for her to do, like, a follow-up book or something like that.
I did look her up after because I was interested to see whether she was divorced or not.
And
the last article I read was, like, in 2015, and they were still together. It was, like, an article about trophy wives. And the man she has is 24 years older than her, and they do look odd, I have to say. Yeah. I don't know, but she seems happy, so, like, who am I to judge, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That is true, actually. I feel like for Donna and, like, the things that she wants in her life, that age isn't really an issue, especially because, you know, she's getting the things that she wants out of that relationship. Which, I mean, I don't know, saying things like that makes me feel like I'm talking about Donna and other women who follow this I don't know, what is it, like a guide, a regimen. I feel like I'm talking about them as though that they are like gold diggers or something, but that's not the case at all. They just like know what they want out of a relationship, and they take the steps that they need to make that happen, and they go get it, which is kind of badass.
And she also emphasizes falling. You can fall in love. That's what you want. You want to fall in love. It's just you also want to fall in love with rich guys. Like, you just narrow your field.
And like, everyone has a type. Everyone has like characteristics or traits that they want in a partner. And to say that, like, you know, you want someone who's ambitious and a go-getter and financially secure and smart with money and stuff like that, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I don't think that that should reflect poorly on a woman.
Can we talk about the tips she says to, like, find rich men? So she's like, if you want to find rich men, go to where they hang out. Like, go to nice bars, go to galas.
Who's gonna let me into a gala?
No, she also says, like, if you volunteer at a gala or something, maybe one day you'll be able to be invited, or, like, just be around them in general and, like, introduce yourself into their social circle.
Oh, yeah. She mentioned this thing where she was, like,
hotels,
work in a high-end store.
High-end department stores.
Yeah, and I was just like, bitch, I have other things that I need to do. I can't just get another job. Which is,
well, like, ideally, you'll never need a job anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I should just quit now. I should just quit the podcast.
Yeah, just put in your application at Bloomingdale's and just hope for the best.
Marcus.
And, like,
but also, don't rich guys shop online now? They're too busy for that shit.
Oh, shit. Put in your application to Amazon.
How are they gonna meet me? Oh, my gosh.
And then the part of this book that was so funny to me is, like, it's a little outdated, not just with the Donald Trump references, but with, like, looking stuff up online.
Oh,
she's like, you can look up information on him online using a search engine like Google or alltheweb.com. And I'm like, oh, Donna.
Oh, Donna.
Like, there was a time when Google wasn't the search engine. It wasn't even a verb.
You know, I know that's true. I used to use Ask Jeeves because I liked the idea of having a butler. Even if it was a digital butler. I think I was like 12 or something, and I was like, yeah, Jeeves, you're my bitch.
Yeah, she talks about, like, researching your so-called, like, prey, too.
Yeah.
Like looking up divorce records, like, looking up if he has a criminal record, looking up...
Which is partly for safety things, because rich guys do tend to get away with a lot of stuff, if they can.
But she also says, like, look up his property and his car records to see if he really owns them, because some guys, like, fake their wealth.
Yeah, which is just like, what? People do that?
Yeah, and she's, like, so dedicated to it. She's like, well, sometimes you have to pay a little to get these records, but it's worth it.
And you know what? I just honestly feel like she's 100% on the reader's side. Like, through and through.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is something I fucking love about this book. Like, I love it. Honestly, I would recommend it. It's just an interesting read and an interesting way to approach finding that partner that you're looking for.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I'd be like, this is a fun read, and also, like, there's some good self-care stuff in there, but I have to, like, criticize her writing a little bit. It is kind of basic, and there were, like, a lot of typos.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's not, like the most edited, beautifully put together
it needed a good editor, I think.
It needed, like, I don't know.
But it's just, like,
someone
a good...
to read it and, like, with a red pen. I don't understand.
It's just a good look into her mind and her mindset. And I feel like she does make good points even if you don't agree with them.
Yeah. 100%. Oh, man. I feel like now that I've read that book, I am seeing things through a little bit of a different light. Because before, honestly, I would feel a little bit guilty about, like, considering a man's, like, earning potential or, like, their job, like, as part of who they are and, like, what they have to offer me. And, like, now I don't feel as guilty because I'm like, so what? Like, yes, I want specific things and I'm not going to apologize for it. And I'm not going to fucking settle. And I don't know, this book, like, helped me, like, get that confidence about, like, being okay with what I wanted. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, too. I think, like, if I ever... Cher has an amazing interview where she said her mom... Like, this is, like, when she was already at the peak of her stardom. Mm-hmm. And her mom said, why don't you just settle down now? Like, go and marry a rich man. And she said, Mom, I am a rich man. Like, I want to be at that level.
You're like, that is cool.
Yeah, I want to be, like, not necessarily rich, but just, you know, super secure in my success. And if there's someone who can match me at that level, then yeah, I'll go
exactly.
for it.
It's like, I'm not like, no, 100%. I feel like I am absolutely and, like, completely great on my own. But if I am going to find a partner, then he has to have certain qualities. Like, I'm not going to, like, downgrade my life or, like, settle for less when it comes to, like, finding what I want. And I used to feel guilty about that for some stupid reason. And it just doesn't make sense to feel guilty about wanting what you want. You know what I mean? I mean, guys don't feel guilty about wanting sexy ladies. Why should I feel guilty about wanting a man who's financially secure?
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to be, like, I don't know. Who's a hot guy?
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, you don't have to be like Chris Hemsworth hot. You just have to be like a nice dude who is smart. So, calling all nice, smart dudes.
Nice dudes who is smart.
Who you as having to be smart. If you look like Thor, huge bonus. Wait, is that Chris Hemsworth or his brother? What's his brother? Liam.
Liam.
Oh, no, it is Chris Hemsworth.
Any of the Hemsworths.
Yeah. All, whatever you are. Come over. You can email me your phone number at selfhelpuspodcast@gmail.com. Oh, man. This book was great. I enjoyed reading it. It was fun to read.
Yeah, I don't feel like I completely wasted my time.
No, and it's, honestly, if you read it with, like, a friend and then you just have a chat about it, it's, like, hilarious. Like, you guys will end up cracking each other up because this book is just, like, fodder for hilarity. Honestly. Thank you guys for joining us today on the podcast. We had a really good time reading the book and talking to you about it. Stay tuned because, well, not tuned today, but keep an eye out for our second part of the How to Get a Rich Man episode, which comes out on Thursday.
Yay!
Yay!
If you want to contact us, you can contact us at selfhelpuspodcast@gmail.com, and make sure to rate, review, subscribe on iTunes and any other such podcast purveyors. It really helps.
Yes, and if you like the podcast, definitely share it with a friend. The more the merrier, right?
Yep. Try your best to live your best life, guys.
Take care.
Bye!